Ratchet and Clank is the new film adaptation of a game that's out right now. That's a game adaptation of a film that's coming out that's also a film adaptation of the game. However you want to look at that, this movie's in theaters. Yay. Now, I'm not a huge Ratchet and Clank fan, but I have played some of the games. I do have the new PS4 game, and it is a lot of fun. It's a good game. My friends, however, growing up, loved Ratchet and Clank, and we talked about it all the time, so I do have some knowledge of the games. They're basically just really fun space adventures. So Ratchet is a mechanic, and he has big dreams of space adventure. He wants to go out and save the universe. Eventually, he meets Clank, and they team up to save the universe from this evil guy who wants to blow everything up, and he's evil, and this movie's not as good as the games. It is, however, incredibly harmless. There really is nothing to be upset about here. The movie makes a lot of references to other films. There's posters that look like Conan, there's posters that look like Ferris Bueller's Day Off. There's a guy that falls off of something and he does the famous Wilhelm scream, and his friend is like, Wilhelm! There's jokes like that in this film that are going to reach movie fans, and as a movie fan, I appreciated them. There is an effort here to be clever and to be entertaining. Some of the action is fun. The animation is not great. It's kind of straight to DVD worthy. In fact, I kind of feel like this movie had a better place on perhaps, say, Netflix rather than theaters. And the fact that there was myself and 2 other people in the theater tonight, that may have been a better choice. The unfortunate truth is, despite the fact that some of the characters are charming and likable, and Ratchet and Clank themselves have some really fun interplay, and as someone who wasn't huge into the games, but still enjoyed them, I did find some harmless entertainment with this film, but it really is just a cliched exercise in releasing a film into theaters to tie it into a game, a much better game, and hopefully have that property make some more money because of that. It's kind of a giant promotional exercise. And somehow they got people like Rosario Dawson, Paul Giamatti, John Goodman in the voice cast, and the voice cast is very good. But there is an undeniable sense that I got while watching this movie, and that sense is paycheck collection. This is a film that some people are probably being paid a lot of money to make and will hopefully make more money for the video game and vice versa. And it just sort of feels like that, and it can't really be escaped, despite some of the movie's efforts to be entertaining and to have some good sci-fi action. The villains and the heroes are all very stereotypical, and there really isn't that attempt to step outside the box. But if you're a fan of these games and these characters, you might not require it to step out of the box. It might not bother you. You might be perfectly fine with that. And this movie is really harmless. There's nothing about it that really bugged me. It was just very mediocre and passable. I think some critics are really going to tear into this movie, and from what I looked on Rotten Tomatoes, they are, because it's a video game movie, and already some people just go into this movie ready to hate it. But I went into it excited, actually, because I liked these characters growing up. I wasn't the big mammoth Ratchet and Clank fan, but I appreciated the games and I had fun with them, and so did my friends. And I walked out thinking, it's a movie, it probably should have been on Netflix, but there isn't anything about it that made me angry. It's just aggressively mediocre, unfortunately, despite some charming characters. I'm gonna give Ratchet and Clank a C+. Should it have been released in theaters? Probably not. Should have been straight to DVD or Netflix. Nevertheless, there really isn't anything to be upset about here. It's not that bad when compared to other video game adaptations, that's for sure. Guys, thank you so much as always for watching. If you like this, you can click right here and get Stuckmanized.